It's always a pleasure to have a pleasant relationship with friends, neighbors, and you can enjoy working with them on these sidering things because lots of people like to get involved.
So do you run the press sometimes?
Not anymore. Randy has taken over the responsibility.
Did they not even send these down? I know, Randy, what's that going to do to it? Sorry.
And then we always put our little crabs in to give it some tart.
Do you drive a tractor?
Sure.
Okay. So that's a fun job, right?
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
And I made that chute over again this year. It's much longer so that more people can be involved in touching the apples when they roll down that chute, which is, it's really what it's about, is watching those things just bounce down.
Those are good. The little ones, they just feel like bounce. The little ones, they don't get stuck. Look at that. I love them. I know.
And they just keep coming. There's more. Another box. Ooh, another box. Oh yeah, and they turn into mist. And sometimes it chitters, like sometimes they'll come down into this big pile of chitterings, and other times it just comes into a soupy pile and just levels off. You don't have to do anything to it.
In a Boy Scout troop for 10 years in Pelham, New York. And I used to bring them up here this particular weekend, and the kids would make cider, and lots of it. And large numbers of them learned about trying to make hard cider.
Well, you don't really need much cider if you have rum in it. It's like instant hard cider.
Your kids really seem to love it, especially that grandson, Calvin.
Calvin, yeah. Been doing it his whole life.
Calvin, what does that green switch do?
tons to fuss on.
Is that your job?
What?
Well, I have all the jobs.
He seriously knows how this works way more than I do.
Yeah.
There are tens of dollars to be made in cider manufacturing. Tens of dollars.
Is this a business school?
I did want to talk about the cider press. Now, we used to go to Ogden's cider mill down in Heartland. They had this big water mill, and we'd take a bunch of cider from here. We went over to Eaton's Sugar House at the Vermont Sugar House.
Yes.
So we'd go over there, we'd bring a whole farm truck full of apples, and then they'd run them up their chute, and they'd give us a bunch of cider. And we never really got the cider from the apples that we brought over, but it was a way to get a lot of cider. And then we had one of those little chicka things that you crank all afternoon, and you get 3 gallons. And then Bushrod called me one day, and he said, "Randy, I found a cider mill in the Ag Review." And I said, because my initial thought that it was, another one of these chickadee things. And I said, "How big is it?" And he said, "I said it weighs 1,000 pounds." And I said, "Get it." And he said, "Well, they want $1,000 for it." And I said, "Get it." All of a sudden one day he said, "It's in the shed." And I came down and looked, and oh wait, it's a huge thing, and all the wooden parts had been rotted away. And I knew if we're going to get this thing set up by September and actually make some cider, I better get after it. So it took me all summer of like puttering around weekends, evenings, getting this thing all set together. I made all the frames over again and all the blocking for pressing, and we had it. That was 30 years ago next year. A day like today, what more would you want to do? Although you want to play music and eat food.
John, there's 7 more bushels still.
I'm going round the world with my banjo picking girl. Diamond girl, come get me my wife.
I try to plant some trees every year. And I haven't planted any this year, but this year's not over. I can tell you this, I believe it was made in the 1890s. And the cider press was for sale.
She's having that.
And my brother, who was the manager of the farm at that time and responsible for business and keeping the books and expenditures and so on, saw an ad for a cider press, and I think it was in White River Junction. And he went down there and he just bought it. I think it cost $1,000, and it was very heavy. It was a major job to bring it here and sort of build a foundation to set it on. But we've used it every year since then to make cider. And to have a big press is useful. There are tons of apple trees. Every farmer around here used to have his own little orchard. And with a bunch of trees near the house, and they all continued to just make apples year after year after year after year. But there was no place to take them. So people began taking them here. And over the years, Randy became the master cider maker and learned how to use the machine and run it and keep it clean and all the rest. And so we've just continued to do that. And every Columbus Day, we gather and make a lot of cider, and Randy and his friends make music. And kids learn something about where things come from. And anyway, you can see what it's like.